Welcome to Intuitive Flow. I'm your host, Mikaela Filar, intuitive energetic healer, medium, entrepreneur, and mindset mentor with a mission to help you step into your fullest potential by giving you the tools to rid yourself of limiting beliefs, love yourself unconditionally, and create the reality that you dream of living. It is time to transform your mindset, get unstuck, and step into the highest frequency version of yourself who has unshakable confidence. I am even answering your juiciest questions regarding all things intuition, manifestation, personal development, self-love, self-image, and helping you work through your dilemmas, intuitively guiding you to expand your mindset and level up in life. So turn up the volume and get excited for this intuitive flow. Hey guys, welcome back to Intuitive Flow with Mikaela Filar. It's your host, Mikaela Filar, and today I am not going to be answering questions again. I'm actually going to share a little bit about the universal law of reflections because I do have my new course that is launched. It's called Aligned as Fuck, where we dive in deep on the universal law of reflections and how to utilize it to your advantage. If you do not know what reflections are, let me tell you. So reflections are essentially things that happen for us to help us get what we want, right? So if we are desiring to manifest something, a reflection is going to show us where and how in our life is our energy out of alignment. Do we have any limiting beliefs floating around that are stopping us from manifesting what we're desiring? Do we have any thoughts that are not serving our highest good? Do we have any actions that are not serving our highest good, that are not helping us get what we want, right? Then that's where the universal law of reflections comes into play and magnifies those imbalances, those limiting beliefs, those habits that we're doing that are not helping us get what we want, right? That's where the universal law of reflections amplifies those, magnifies them, throws them in our face, and help us see them for what they are, helps us shift them, and then in turn helps us manifest at an expedited rate, right? So if you are desiring to get your manifestations into your physical reality at an expedited rate, keep listening. So I wanted to give a little bit of an example here. And when I was desiring to manifest my dream relationship, okay, I feel like this is such, like, you guys love when I talk about how I manifested Bryson. So I'm just going to roll with this. When I was asking for my dream relationship, I had some thoughts, I had some limiting self-beliefs, I had a lot of actions that were not in alignment with what I was desiring to achieve, right? Like my thought process back then, like when I first started this work, was men are trash. They only want one thing. I'm never going to find my person. They're all emotionally unavailable. Like nobody takes me seriously. I was going on dates and like acting like I was the cool casual girl and not actually like expressing what I was desiring in a romantic relationship. It's like the reality was all I wanted was somebody to commit to me, right? Like I'm sure a lot of everybody probably here can relate. Like we all just want to be committed to. We all want to feel special. We all want to feel unique. We all want to feel wanted, desired, right? So when I was asking for a romantic relationship, but I had all of these like limiting self-beliefs and just beliefs that were not helping me manifest the reality that I wanted, right? Knowing the universal law of reflections, knowing that the world is a reflection of what we believe and what we feel and what we think is true about ourselves and our life. Like me saying men are trash, all the good ones are taken, I'm old, like no one's going to want me because I'm old, like I'm not going to have kids, blah, 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 all this, like all of these things that like I don't want, right? Like they're all going to be reflected back to me in my reality if I do not change them. And because I was asking for one thing, but acting a different way or thinking a different way or believing different ways than the person who had what I wanted would act or think, that was reflected to me. Okay. So when we are asking for something, it's not just going to be handed to us on a silver platter, right? We are going to get reflections. Our higher self gives us reflections. This is not God, source, universe, whatever word best resonates with you. This is not them punishing you This is solely your higher self being like, yo, bitch, I got you. Let me send you a lesson to learn so that you can see what you're doing that's not in alignment with what you're saying that you want. Right. So, in order to see these for what they are, we have to become more self aware, right? We have to ask ourselves, what am I desiring? How would that person that has the thing that I want act? And how would they think? And am I currently aligning with that thing, with that person, with that version of myself who has the thing I want? At that point, no, I wasn't. Right. So I got a lot of reflections. So when I really sat down and thought like with myself, like, okay, I have to change the way that I'm thinking. Like instead of saying all men are trash, the good ones are taken, I'm too old, blah blah blah. Instead of saying all that thing, I debunked it. I debunked these beliefs and then I reframed them. How did I do this? I'm like, okay, well, if the example is all men are trash, then I debunked it and like, really, all men are trash? Like asking my asking my subconscious, like, are all men trash? Really? Like, really, all men are trash? No, all men are not trash. There are definitely good men out there. They're not all taken because that is impossible. I know that I'm meant to find my person, and the person I am meant to find will find me. I will meet them. We will find each other, right? So if we can see that for what it is, and shift those and debunk them and to start to think the way the person who has our thing would think, then we're going to become an energetic match for what it is that we're desiring, right? We're going to become a magnet for our manifestations. So, this form of reflections, this specific form of reflection was a reflection in the form of a person, right? And I've talked about this on my podcast before. I talked about it when I shared how I manifested my boyfriend, and I talked about how before meeting him, I was dating, obviously, and I kept on manifesting like emotionally unavailable men. And then I was like, well, how am I, why am I attracting, instead of being like, oh, like all men are trash and all men are emotionally unavailable, because I already debunked those, right? And changed the way I was thinking. I started to ask myself then, like, what's the common denominator? The common denominator was me. Like, I was the one that was attracting these types of people. Okay, why am I attracting these types of people? Because I was trying to be that cool girl who was like okay with things being casual, when in all reality, all I wanted was somebody who committed to me. Okay, so the way that reflections work is like, you want to ask yourself, how do I feel like these people are being? And I felt like these people were being emotionally unavailable, right? So then I asked myself, how am I being emotionally unavailable to myself? Okay. However you feel like they're being, you are actually being that way toward yourself. So I asked myself, where am I being that way toward myself? Okay, I'm being that way to myself because I'm literally gaslighting my own feelings of the fact that I just want to be committed to. I actually do want to be in a committed relationship. Like, I'm done being casual. I just don't want this anymore, right? Like, I want somebody who's committed to me, who knows what they want, who loves me unconditionally, inside and out, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So if that's the case, then what do I need to do? I need to speak up and like actually share what I'm desiring out of a date, right? So if I go on these dates, I'm not like, oh, whatever. I'm like, hey, I'm not here to waste your time. You're not here to waste my time. This is what I'm looking for. If we're not on the same page, then bye. Right. So if that's the case, amazing. Share what it is and like stand by what you're desiring out of that date, right? And if they say that, oh, they're not ready, then oh my God, great. You just saved yourself what, 3 months, right? Of that like unsureness. Like, let's be real. So if I hadn't seen like the reflections for what they were, then I wouldn't have been able to like break that toxic cycle that I was in, right? I wouldn't have been able to break the toxic cycle because I would have just kept manifesting people who were emotionally unavailable because I wasn't being honest with myself and what I actually desired. Then when I completely was like 100% okay with just like, I'm done dating. Like, I literally was like, after that, after I knew that I had closed that toxic cycle, I was so proud of that moment that I was like, almost just didn't even want to date. And I just was so detached from it. I had already manifested, like, done the work I needed to do to manifest my relationship. And I knew that he was coming, and I was so just, like, sure of the fact that he was coming that I was like, "I don't even feel like I need to," like, if I run into somebody and they ask me out, like, great, but I'm not gonna, like, I've never been one to get on the apps, like, I'm just, like, I'm not gonna, like, try and go out to bars to meet somebody, like, I'm gonna meet them in the wild, like, it's just gonna be just like that. And then literally that's how I met Bryson in the wild. I met him at a freaking cornhole tournament. So, um, it's when you know, and then you can get super neutral about like where you're at so that you don't have to be fixated on, oh my God, I need this in order to feel a certain way. Like you're just totally content and happy with where you're at and who you are. And then also you're just like, you just know that it's yours no matter what, right? It's just like this knowing that you have. That's when you're going to manifest your dream relationship. That's when you're going to get what you want, right? Is when you detach from the outcome. There's talking about reflections today. There are so many fucking reflections. Literally, like the trash man is here. My printer is randomly making a bunch of noises. I'm getting a shit ton of emails. All of this will probably be like edited out, like the background noises that I'm hearing, but I'm just talking through them. But I just want you to know that the reflections are reflectioning right now. And the reflections here, these are all just like inconveniences, right? They're just loud noises that are inconveniences, and they are causing me to like not pay attention to what I'm actually doing here on the podcast. But that's helping me get what I want. How is it helping me get what I want? These are self-love reflections. It's because I woke up this morning. I went to this is a total tangent, but like I went to I had a really busy weekend. I had a girlfriend come in and visit from out of town. And then on Sunday, I went to the Dodger game, and it's the playoffs right now. If you don't know this, if you're not like a baseball fan, but my boyfriend, Bryson, is like such a baseball guy. He literally is the head coach of baseball. Anyways, he loves baseball, and we ended up getting tickets to the playoff game, like these sick fucking tickets. And it was such a great and amazing time. But let me tell you, I literally am still exhausted. The game is on Sunday. I didn't do anything on Monday. Like I physically, my brain did not work. And today I'm feeling just still so tired, so drained. And that's what happens when somebody as an empath, like puts herself in a bunch of energy. And I kind of went into it, like knowing that this was going to be a consequence, but like not caring because I knew that I was just going to be having so much fun and it would be a core memory for Bryson and I. So I did it anyways. But like, you guys, when I tell you I am exhausted, I am exhausted. Anyways, okay, that was a long tangent. I digress. Coming back to reflections and how they help you manifest what you're desiring to manifest. Had I not been self aware and saw the reflection of like, okay, obviously what I'm thinking and what I'm saying out loud is creating my reality and attracting these men who are trash and attracting these men who are emotionally unavailable. If I didn't see that, if I didn't see the reflection, probably would still be attracting those types of people. I wouldn't have gotten to the energy of somebody who is the complete opposite of that. Then, second time, the reflections come during this whole manifestation process of me manifesting Bryson, it was like the second time was in the form of people, right? Like knowing that I was attracting emotionally unavailable men because I was gaslighting myself and my own feelings and I wasn't being honest about what I actually wanted in this relationship, right? And then, I mean, I get, like I just mentioned, like I get reflections all the time. They never stop. And also how this is so beneficial now that Bryson and I are in this romantic relationship. Like you guys, romantic relationships are our biggest reflections. And what's so incredible about learning this work and like is because I know this work, like I am able to, let's say he is making me feel a certain way. Let's say he's like pissing me off or upsetting me or just anything of the sort. I know that he is just reflecting something within me that is not in alignment with where I'm desiring to get in my life, right? So I, instead of blaming him, take radical responsibility and I ask myself, okay, where am I acting that way toward myself? How am I being that way toward myself? How can I shift that and see it for what it is? And because I shift it, and this happens all the time, he is no longer acting or triggering that in me because I already shifted that reflection, right? So reflections will not only help you manifest what you're desiring, they will also benefit you in your relationships because they help you grow. Reflections, they help you grow. And they also will help like I said, your relationship, because instead of blaming and playing the victim game towards your partner, and then like maybe they piss you off one too many times, you're like, I'm fuck this, like I'm done, we're over. Like, no, you're able to see the reflection for what it is, and you're able to shift it, in turn shifting their energy, because they're not going to mirror that from you anymore. And it's just all around better for your entire life. So that's why I say, like, reflections and learning the universal law of reflections is literally such a game changer. And especially when you learn like all of the details. And this, I'm going to be giving inside of Aligned as Fuck so many incredible examples of reflections and the different forms of reflections in the different areas of life, and how if we ignore them, they snowball into even bigger reflections. So when we're catching the reflections like breaking a nail, we can shift the small reflections, we prevent ourselves from manifesting even bigger reflections, because obviously our higher self is trying to get our attention. That's all they're trying to do. They don't know how to, if our channel is off and we don't know how to communicate to our higher self, then our higher self is going to get our attention the only way that it knows that it can, which is through these reflections. And if we are not listening, they're going to continue to give us these reflections or these lessons over and over and over again until you can see it for what it is, right? And you learn the lesson. So if you can stop the reflections when they're small so that they do not manifest into the bigger reflections and disrupt your life and block your joy and your happiness, then like, hello, I'm going to do that, right? Like, you're going to do that. I don't know anybody who says that they wouldn't, but inside of Aligned as Fuck, it's a self-paced course. And so it's 4 modules that are pre-recorded. The first module is going to be the universal law of reflections, diving deep into what it is, the different forms, the 8 areas of life, and giving examples of physical and energetic tools. And then for week 2, we're going to talk about reflections in the form of people, how to spot them, how to shift them, physical and energetic tool examples. Week 3, we're going to do reflections in the form of circumstances that you find yourself in, how to spot them, how to shift them, physical and energetic tools. Week 4, we're going to do reflections in the form of body elements. You guys, our body is constantly trying to communicate with us. We're going to learn how to shift it, and I'm going to be sharing an intuitive read on the questions to ask and how to shift those using physical and energetic tools. All right. And then of course at the end, which the live Q&A, it will be voted on after doors close on November 1st. If you are interested, swipe up, check out the show notes below, or check out my Instagram at Mikaela Filar so that you can learn all about reflections and see them for what they are, manifest your desires at quantum fucking speeds, change your life, and better your relationships, and so much more. Anyways, if you like this episode, please leave a rating review. Give it a thumbs up if you're on YouTube, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to this and you liked it and you got something out of it, screenshot on your Instagram story. Tell me what you liked about it most. Tag me. I would love to repost you. And as always, we will chat soon, friends. Bye.